What's up? Welcome back. This is Tim Credeur. I am a commercial large loss coordinator for Servpro of East Baton Rouge. I also do commercial business development here. But weekly, I have done some videos on different levels of preparedness for emergencies. We're focusing a lot on hurricane preparedness right now due to the season for hurricanes being between June 1st and November 30th. We are located in South Louisiana. There is a ton of storms happening. If you haven't seen, Elsa just kind of went through Florida last week. So we're going to talk about a form today, and I'm also going to leave you a link for it. This is a form through FEMA. I think is a great form for any families to kind of work through together, especially if you have a number of different adults living in the home. This is the FEMA Emergency Communication Plan. Excellent form to kind of help you organize a ton of things in the event of a major disaster. Obviously, we don't want those things to happen, but the reality of living on the Gulf Coast is hurricanes happen pretty regularly. So having a plan to know how to deal with that and how to work through that as a family unit kind of makes things move much smoother, and also can mitigate and minimize a lot of the damage that could happen if you have a plan and are paying attention to the potential hazards out there. So first, number one is collect. Create a paper copy of contact information of the family and other important people in offices, such as medical facilities, doctors, schools, or service providers. The truth is, oftentimes, all of our phone numbers are saved into our phones. And if for some reason we can't power those phones on, we're never going to remember those phone numbers. So it's important to kind of have all those phone numbers physically transcribed somewhere in the event of a lost phone, a broken phone, a forgotten phone. We can still make contact with the important people and institutions in our lives. Number two, share. Make sure everyone carries a copy of this emergency communication plan in their backpack or bag or vehicle, so that if they're in need of those things or getting in touch with one another, it's a much easier process. Number three, practice. Have regular household meetings to review and practice your emergency communication plan. Let's go through the first thing first, the collect section. Collect. Some of the things we want to collect is write down phone numbers and email addresses of everyone in the household and everyone near and dear to that household. Uncles, aunts, grandmas, grandpas, relatives, so that we can make contact in the event of a lost or broken phone, which happens in floods. Also, schools, childcare, caregivers, workplace, and everyday emergency facilities. Your doctor's office, the local hospital, your walk-in clinic, the pharmacy, all those numbers should be saved somewhere physically that you can see them in the event of a lost phone. And then any out of town contacts, who you may have a sister who lives up in Dallas or Arkansas or Birmingham, Alabama, and that may be a safe haven for you and your family. Make sure you have all those contacts listed in there as well. I would also encourage you to have any emergency meeting places and their phone numbers and addresses written down as well. And it's okay to have a variety of those. An indoor emergency meeting facility, maybe an outdoor emergency meeting facility, and a neighborhood emergency meeting facility. Places like community centers, rec centers, boys and girls clubs, parks, where they have bathrooms and running water that may be outdoors, but it gives you some place to go to use the restroom and clean up or whatnot if need be, maybe if your home is in jeopardy. Second, share. Make sure everyone has this information. Make copies when you finish this of your emergency communication plan for each member of your household to have in their various bags. Sometimes crazy things happen and you get split up. We want to make sure everyone can reconnect and has the right phone numbers and emails in the case of an emergency. Um, I would also store all these vital informations into a couple burner phones that are in various backpacks in case our main phones get lost or wet or harmed or anything like that. And then you can create a group list on your mobile phones of all the people in your immediate family and a text group there. That kind of can help as well. And make sure that you have signed up for all of the alerts and warnings in your area for storms and for emergency messaging and all those types of things. Make sure you signed up for those so you get that information as quickly as possible. And then last, practice. Practice is so important. Once you completed your emergency communication plan and given out copies for everyone, practice texting and calling each other. Practice with your burner phones. Have each person practice sending a text. Discuss what information you should send by text. Make sure everybody understands where our meeting areas are, both locally in the neighborhood, maybe in the city, and then maybe outside the city in another area where you have a safe haven. Talk about who's going to be the lead person. Talk about who is going to grab and make sure is regularly stocked the emergency preparedness box. You should have a couple of those. And practice gathering up household members. Fire drills happen because fires happen. But hurricane preparedness drills should also happen as well. Other important tips for communicating in disasters are text works better than phones. They get through a lot quicker, especially SMS texts. Conserve your mobile phone battery as much as possible so that if you can't find power, you have as much battery as possible. Now, what I'd also suggest is for your car, you can get some power converters that you can plug in and they can recharge your phone. That's also extremely important. And then keep as many charged batteries as you can for flashlights and other things. So a quick little thing, 12 ways to prepare via FEMA. Sign up for alerts and warnings. Make a plan. Always save for a rainy day or have emergency credit cards set aside. Practice your emergency drills. Test your family communication plan via SMS text. Safeguard important documents, travel documents, passports, social security cards, birth certificates. All those things should be in a safe place in your home in a waterproof envelope that you can get out of there as quickly as possible if need be. Make sure you have some of these plans and explain them to your neighbors so they kind of know what's going on. Sometimes one house can be hit worse than others. And so being able to be there for your neighbors and vice versa is important. And sharing with them your emergency communication plan can help with that stuff. Know your evacuation routes. They're usually listed in Louisiana, but you should check online. FEMA has a bunch of them. You can find them at a number of places online. Get involved in your local community, not just during hurricane season, but all the time. And then document and ensure any property damage that may happen. Another cool thing that FEMA does is they give you this form where you can see family emergency communication plan, name, phone number, mobile, all that stuff, and a couple of these for you to fill out in case of emergency out-of-town contacts, and then a whole bunch of other important numbers for information. I can't tell you how important these things are and how often we see people who fail to prepare with these type of documents and then run into a little more secondary problems as not having the right information can kind of become as big of a problem as the hurricane itself. So I encourage you to check out this website. I've included the link. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call anytime. My number is 225-445-4118. You have a great day and be safe this hurricane season.